Thank you all for joining me to your practice. And today I am calling this practice Fly Like an Eagle. So we'll see exactly what that means. I don't know, a bit of foreshadowing with poses perhaps. Flying eagle, we'll see where we get to. A little bit of balancing probably, obviously some stretching. What I'd love for you to do is take a nice seat of your choice. So whatever that means for you, it should be quite an easy seat, which is why we call this Sukhasana, easy seat pose. So if one leg is extended or the other, great. If you want to be on your knees, great. I just want you to be comfortable for the first few moments as we find stillness. Okay, so starting our practice with eyes closed, resting the palms on the knees or on the lap. And once we let go of that visual stimulation, we begin to bring awareness to what's happening inside. So we move from doing to being, and from criticizing to observing. So all I want you to do is start to observe your breath. And by observing, I just mean watching without judgment, without labeling the breath, just noticing your inhales and exhales. Our breath can tell us a lot about what's happening in the moment. I've had a lot of particular moments of anxiety the past couple days, noticing that my breath has become shallow. So that can be an indication of something happening externally. So we just want to notice what's happening with the breath. And then going a bit deeper with the breath here, take your left hand and place it on your heart. And take your right hand and place it just below your belly button. Okay? Seeing if we can drop the shoulders down though a bit away from the ears. And just begin to feel the breath moving in the body. And an exercise to what's called Dirga breathing, which is a 3-part breath. What I want you to do is on every inhale, you'll inhale for a count of 3, starting down deep to the belly, then filling up the sides of the rib cage, and then all the way up to the top of your chest and to your heart. And you'll pause at the top for a split second, and then you'll exhale for a count of 3, reversing the direction of your breath. Okay, so starting when you're ready to inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, and pause. Exhale for 3, 2, and 1. And keep going to the rhythm of your own breath. So again, belly, side rib cage, heart, pausing, and then exhaling out, reversing the direction of your breath. And just wherever you are with your cycle of breath, completing the next exhale wherever it comes. And then float the palms back down to your knees. And just observing how that felt. And there's never a right or wrong answer to that question of how does it feel. Okay, so when ready, take your time to blink your eyes open. Okay, we're coming back into that visual world and stimulation. So take a few moments, right? Especially if you're wearing contact lenses. Maybe blink a few extra times. Okay, and then because you've been sitting here for a few minutes, take the legs out, give them a good shake off, right? Maybe windshield wiper the feet back and forth just because we've been sitting in stillness. So get the blood flowing again. Okay. And then I'd like you to recross the legs, maybe take the opposite cross in what you just had if your legs were crossed, or take that cross the legs now. Okay. And then extend the arms out wide to the sides, palms facing up. Yeah, good. And then take your arms out in front of you and cross the right arm under the left, bend at the elbows, and find your eagle arms. So already into some eagle stuff here. So eagle arms, as we bend at the elbows, we'll take the palms or the backs of the hands, whatever, just you can clasp, maybe the thumbs clasp, right? And I know my face is hiding here, but your face will be behind your arms. You'll lift up your elbows a bit away from the body. Drop the shoulders down. And then if you'd like to, dip forward. So hinging forward from your hips. Maybe all the way down to the ground, maybe not. Tuck your chin to your chest. Maybe your hands are touching the ground. As long as your sit bones are still seated down to the earth. So if you're rounding your spine, that's fine. Keep breathing here. And then on the inhale, rising up. So firming up your core, your abdominals to rise your torso up. Exhale, release your arms, give them a shake to the sides. And then switch up the cross of the legs again, because you want to just keep changing it up, right? Keep moving a bit. Arms up to the sides, and we'll do the opposite side. So this time, left arm under right. Bend at the elbows, find the palms or the backs of the hands, whatever you just did. One side could be a bit tighter, right? Good. Inhale here, nice and tall with the spine. Exhale, perhaps coming forward. And again, tucking the chin to your chest. So rounding the back of the neck, some tension might release there. Next breath in, rise back up again, firm up the belly. Exhale, release the arms, give them another shake to the sides, a drip of those fingertips. Extend the legs out, give them another shake out. Okay, and I'll face you this way so you can see my side profile. Legs are out to the front of your mat, right? We'll take the right foot and we'll bring it into the left leg. So the left leg still extended right from the hip, making sure that our left knee is a bit soft without locking the joint, and nice flex left foot. So arms come up on the inhale. And another little forward fold here. So exhale over that left leg. Let the arms drop down away from the ears once again. And just feeling that lovely hamstring stretch here. Staying nice and low over your body, take your left hand to the inside of your left leg. So it doesn't matter where it resides there. Right arm goes behind your low back. And like I said, staying low. We'll peel open that right shoulder. Maybe look up towards the ceiling or looking down towards the mat. So just depending on how your neck feels. Remembering your breath, right? Sweep your right arm forward, stay nice and low over top of that left leg. Walk your hands into your body and slowly ragdoll up to a tall spine. So stacking your vertebra one at a time, and then rock those shoulders back a few times. Always good to keep them moving. And we'll switch to the other side. So right leg goes forward, left foot to the inner right thigh, right? Nice long right leg, arms up, inhale, reach way up. So find that length and then come forward. Exhale, leading with the heart coming over that right leg. Noticing what your jaw is doing. We don't think about our facial muscles very much, but soften those facial muscles. Unclench any tension in the jaw. And then nice and low here, staying low. Take the right hand to the inside of the right leg. Left arm goes behind you and tucks into the low back, opening the left shoulder. So broadening both shoulders. And looking down or up. We can send the breath to the belly still here. Sweep the left arm forward, staying low. This time to come up, lengthen your arms out in front towards your toes. Lift your head up slightly so that your back is more straight now. Clasp your thumbs together, firm up your belly, and then rise the arms up. So inhale, reach up, and exhale, release your arms like wings. Yeah, nice. Extend both legs, give them a nice shake off again. Windshield wiper back and forth if you'd like. Okay, bring yourself to the front of your mat. So we're doing a lot of stuff seated this practice before we come up to our first downward facing dog. But finding our knees bent, right? Our sit bones nice on the earth. And then take the hands back behind you. You might know where I'm going. a little bit of boat pose, okay, to begin, just to firm up the belly and to find strength in the abdominals, right? So fingertips are facing forward, wrists under shoulders, and then just start to lean back and lift your feet up. Even if they come up like an inch off the ground, that's fine. What I really want to emphasize, though, is that your belly button is lifting, almost like an imaginary string is pulling it up so we don't collapse in the back. And by all means, support your hands here, or maybe the hands come underneath your knees, or maybe no hands at all, right? Maybe you're extending your legs even more into that V shape. And then we'll exhale, lower the feet down. Okay, take a moment here, hands on the outsides of the knees about hip distance apart. Inhale, heart through the shoulders, right? Exhale, lean back like a seated cat and tuck the chin, lengthen the arms. One more just like that. Inhale, reach the heart through the shoulders. Exhale, lean back, tuck in. Come back through center. One more boat pose before we move on. So find your expression of boat, right? Hands under the knees, maybe no hands, hands on the ground, up to you. Leaning back just a bit. Belly button's lifted, feet are lifted. Okay, legs extended. There's so many expressions here in boat. There's another one of taking your peace fingers around your big toes. I mean, take your choice, right? Yogi's choice. And again, belly button rising. Good. Keep breathing, even though you might be shaking. And exhale, lower the feet. Hands on the outside of the knees. One more little seated cat-cow. So inhale, heart shines through. Exhale, lean back, tuck the chin. And a couple more just to your own breath. And wherever you are, complete the exhale. Come up to a tall spine again, and then come over onto hands and knees. So bring the legs back behind you. Okay, onto our hands and knees here, and right into downward facing dog, believe it or not. So we will bring our wrists in front of the shoulders a bit, fan out the fingertips, right? Really grip into the mat, specifically with the palms of your hands, tuck the toes, lift the knees. Exhale, shift back. And it is okay to bend your knees as much as you need to, or come down to the knees if you need to as well at any point, right? Walking it out here, pretending that you're kind of like walking your dog out and bending one knee than the other, right? That might feel good just for the backs of the legs for a few moments. And finding that breath. Take your gaze from looking at your feet to your hands and take as many steps as you need to get to the front of your mat. So walking forward and ending up in a forward fold. So a dangling over the body, head is heavy, shoulders are heavy. I probably do this like a dozen times a day if I can, just letting my spine decompress. And then with the hands sliding up the shins, maybe halfway lifting. So lifting halfway, looking towards the ground still, long neck, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale halfway. Exhale forward. Rooting into your mat and rising your arms up, reach up to a nice tall position. Inhale. Exhale, palms to your heart center. Perfect. Making sure feet are hip distance apart, right? Spread the toes really nice and wide and reach up towards the ceiling. But on the exhale, just bring the shoulders down, keep the arms up. So I really just want you to have your shoulders plugged into their sockets. And then as you fan the toes out, start to lift your heels up. So a little bit of a balance to strengthen the ankles and the toes, right? Just on the balls of the feet. And then exhale, lower the heels. Keep the arms lifted. Inhale, rise the heels up again. Exhale to pause here. And then lower the heels down. Bring the palms to the heart center. And now the opposite movement, shift back into chair pose, right? So now we're gonna sit back and sink back and down. And we'll do the opposite for the feet. So now rise the toes up a little bit, fan the toes out, right? Pressing into the heels, knees are still hip distance. See how that feels? And then lower the toes back down, lift up through the buttocks and come down to forward fold. So shift down, let go of your breath. Hopefully you weren't holding it. And then take a huge step back with the right foot to warrior two. So that is that warrior with a wide-legged stance, right? Front foot's in line with the middle of the back foot. We windmill our arms up, palms facing down, front knees bent over that ankle, and we extend our arms way out. Pausing here, but keeping that breath flowing, right? And then lengthen the front leg for triangle pose. Okay, so for triangle, as we lengthen the front leg, we start to shift the hips to the back of our mat, and then we reach forward. So hips go back, we reach our left fingertips forward, and then we take the left hand down to the inside of the leg, right arm up, and stacking our shoulders. So you can look up or down. It's okay if the front knee's bent a bit. I'd rather that than locking the joint. Now look down, okay, towards your left hand. I want you to replace your left hand with your right. So we're reversing the triangle. Take the right hand down, okay, and if you have to bend the knee and place the right hand on the floor, that's okay. And then take the left arm up. So it's a little bit of a unsteady feeling perhaps. We're not used to doing revolved triangle as much. Trying to stack our shoulders as much as we can. Take the left hand down now. Frame the front foot with your hands. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot so we are square with the hips. And then step back to downward dog. And find your breath. Right? From here, shifting to a plank or push-up pose, Or lower the knees. Okay, that is perfectly fine too. And then lower all the way down to the ground, untuck your toes, keep your hands under your shoulders, tuck those elbows to the rib cage, and then inhale for cobra. So lift the heart up. Exhale here to pause for this little back bend. And then lower your hearts down, tuck your toes, find your downward dog. So either through hands and knees or push up and shift back. Rise your right leg sky high. So rise that right leg up. Three-legged dog, right? What are your shoulders doing? Keep your shoulders as square as you can. And then look forward to the front of your mat. Shift forward like a plank pose, but step the right foot forward. And like I've said a million times, that is probably the most tricky transition. Lower the back foot down to warrior two on the other side. Arms up. Exhale here, pause, just find that length between the legs and between the arms, right? Reaching, 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 and breathing. It's funny how we have to be reminded to breathe, but it's very true. I still do it myself. So lengthening front leg, triangle pose, right? As we send the hips to the back of our mat, we reach forward with the right fingertips and then come down to triangle with the arms. So stacking shoulders again. Looking up or down. And then we will reverse this with the arms, right? So like I said, it's okay to bend the front knee a bit if you need to for stability. Take the left hand down, maybe fingertips on the ground or on the leg. Right arm up. And looking down or up. Right hand comes down now. We want to frame the front foot, pivot onto the ball of the back foot, and this time, step forward. So spring forward and release here, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And root into the feet. Rise the arms up, reach up to standing. Inhale. Exhale, palms to the heart. Fantastic. Let's keep going. So feet hip distance apart again. We're going to repeat that lifting of the heels and into chair pose. So spread the toes wide, reach the arms up to lift up. Inhale. Exhale, plug the shoulders down into their sockets. Keep reaching with the fingertips, so much so that we start to float and rise up, heels lifting on the balls of our feet, right? And also notice what your tailbone is doing. So it's okay to tuck the tailbone just a bit, so we're not finding this like funny sway back and putting too much pressure on the low back. Lower the heels down, keep the arms up. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, rise the heels, exhale, pause. And then lower the heels down, palms to the heart. Okay, you know where we're going, probably chair pose. Shift back like you're sitting into that chair. Maybe it's a preschool chair or kindergarten. So you're coming a bit lower this time, perhaps. And then rise the toes up. So heels are down, toes are risen, knees are square. One more inhale. Exhale. Lower the toes down, reach up with the hips to come down to forward fold. Let that go. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fall forward. Leading with the left leg, step the left all the way back to warrior two again. Okay, so same one we just did. Front foot's in line with the middle of the back foot. Palms are facing down in those long arms, right? But this time coming into eagle arms standing. Okay, so take your hands to the middle of your legs, to the middle of your mat, so in front of you. Okay, palms facing up. And then take your left arm under the right to begin. Okay, left arm under right, bend at the elbows. So we just did this before with the arms seated. Find your palms. You can stay here. Okay, this is amazing. Stay here with this stretch and this strengthening pose, or you can start to bend from the hips and start to bring your torso forward between the legs, keeping that front knee bent. You do not have to come down, but if you'd like to, no, you have to come back up. Okay, squeezing in towards your abdominals, rise yourselves back up. So strong core to lift up the torso. Exhale, release the arms. Back to those wings. Yes, very good. Windmill your hands onto either side of the front foot. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Step back, downward dog. And then once again, shifting to plank or hands and knees. Slowly lower down to your bellies, untuck your toes, find your cobra, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, heart up. Exhale, lower the heart. Tuck your toes, hands and knees or plank. Exhale, back, downward dog. Right, find your breath here. And again, leading with that left leg rises up, leading with the left heel. So foot is flexed, shoulders are square. Look forward, shifting forward so we can step that left foot forward. Lower the back heel down. Warrior two, other side. Bring arms up, palms facing down. Okay. So you might have guessed it, we're going to do the other side with the arms, right? So arms come forward, this time right arm under left, right? Take hold of the hands. And if you like to, stay here. This is a beautiful stretch for between the shoulder blades, right? In the legs. Maybe you hinge forward, leading with the heart, coming to the middle of the legs. Once again, keeping that front knee bent over the ankle. And keeping your breath flowing. When rising up again, firming up the core. Inhale, rise up your torso. Exhale, release your arms to those wings. Nice. Windmill hands onto either side of the front foot. Again, pivot onto the ball of the back. Step forward. And pause. So nice draping over the body. Clasp your fingers together and take the palms of your hands just to the base of your skull, right? Nice little neck stretch. Bring the elbows in towards your head and just gather your head a little closer to your body. And release your arms. And inhale halfway. Exhale, let it go. Bend into the knees as much as you need to ragdoll to stand. So heavy, heavy torso and head. Slowly, slowly rise up. Eventually your head is the last to come up. Rock the shoulders back maybe a few times, right? Then bring the arms up to inhale and exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale down. Step back with your left foot to warrior one. So shorter stance because our hips are going to stay square and the back heel is going to stay down. So sweep your arms up when you're ready. And again, like I said, hips are square, front knees over the ankle. Pause here for a sec. And then bend the left elbow and take the palm to the base of your head. So just like we did when we were forward folding, right? Hand to the base of your skull. Take your right hand on top of the left elbow. I almost didn't find it there. And then start to walk your left fingertips down your back as much as you'd like to for this stretch. Keeping the head and neck upright. But now taking your torso to the right. Okay, so bending to the right, finding a side stretch to the left side of the body. Come back through center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Step back to downward facing dog. So take a few moments to find your stance. Flow to the front of your mat in plank or hands and knees, right? Lower down towards the ground. And this time for our strange cobra. So what the heck is that? Untuck your toes, backs of the toes are down. Walk your fingertips off of your mat so that your fingertips are underneath your elbows, right? So wrists under elbows, broad shoulders. Inhale, rise up this way. So heart comes up. Exhale, lower your hearts. Inhale, rise your heart up. And now exhale, drop your right shoulder down and look to the left, keeping that left elbow lifted. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, drop the left shoulder, look to the right. One more on each side. So inhale and exhale, look to the left. Inhale. Exhale, look to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale down through center. Hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Find your downward dog. Big exhale here. Maybe a little head shake if you need to. Perfect. Taking your gaze to your hands, stepping or jumping if it's in your practice to the front of your mat. I'm just going to step nicely to the front. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fall forward. And rooting into the feet, rising the arms, reach up, inhale. Exhale, palms to the heart. Okay, let's do the other side. Sweep your arms up, inhale. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, down with your hearts. And then step your right foot back to warrior uno, warrior one. Both heels in line, right? Sweep your arms up when you're ready. Exhale, plug the shoulders into their sockets when you're upright. Back heel is down. If you can't quite get your back heel down, sometimes you might need a shorter stance, right? So the back foot comes in a bit. Front knee is bent. And then bend the right elbow. Take the hand to your skull. Take your left hand on top of your right elbow. And then walk your right hand maybe down your back, down your spine. And then take your torso to the left this time. And continue with that gorgeous breath. Lift your torso up, rise your arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands down to the ground. And once again, step back to your dog. Okay, by all means, stay in your downward dog or lower to your knees if you need to, or come to that high push-up position. So I always like to give options, right? We might come down to our bellies again, untuck the toes, and then find either the traditional cobra or strange cobra. So whatever feels like you'd like to do here to rise up for one inhale. Exhale down. Tuck your toes, right? Downward dog. Meeting here. Looking forward, stepping or floating, however you want to get there to the front. Inhale halfway. Exhale down. And then rooting into the feet, rise up, reach up. Inhale. Exhale, palms to the heart. Okay, so full flying like an eagle pose. It is a balance pose, so we hopefully prepared ourselves a bit for this, okay? Don't be scared. If I haven't actually even done it in a while, to be quite honest, I'll be quite frank about that. So feet are hip distance apart. I'll face you this way, but you can face the front of your mat. I want you to see the full frontal of my body here. So feet hip distance, right? Why don't we start with the arms first? So bring the arms out in front of you. You've done the eagle arms already a few times this practice. Let's take the left arm under the right first, bend at the elbows, find the palms or the backs of the hands. Before we go any further, find your focal point in front of you. So your drishti point, something that's not moving, right? Focusing there. And then start to bring the weight into the left foot. Maybe spread those toes out, okay? Rise the right foot up, and maybe all you're doing is bending the right knee over the left, and you're just bringing the toes on the ground on the opposite side. Maybe you're coming further and you're crossing the right knee over the leg, over the right, or the left leg, excuse me, and you're sitting into your chair. Maybe you're taking, which I find hard on one side for myself and the other, you're taking the toes of the right toes and you're bringing them behind the left ankle, which see, I can't even do on that one side. And I'm just going to go with it. So find your eagle pose here, your expression. It's okay if you fall out, come back in, or simply stand and wait it out for the other side. It's all good. Let's inhale, rise up completely. Exhale, unwind, give yourself a shake, okay? That twisted pretzel kind of pose, right? Eagle pose. And we'll find the other side. So spread the toes again, feet under the hips, right? Arms in front of you. This time the right arm under the left. Find your arms first. Shoulders away from the ears, elbows up away from the body, weight into the right foot. And crossing left leg over right, maybe the toes are just on the ground. Perfect, okay? This side, for some reason, I can get my toes behind my right leg. You might do that. You might just cross the leg over leg, sitting back, breathing. Rising when ready. With control, if you haven't already done it, exhale, let it go, unwind, maybe give your arms a real big shake, legs all the way to the toes. Whew, letting that go completely, right? Good jiggle. And then come back to the front of your mat. So that was our glorious peak pose of eagle. Sweep your arms up to inhale. Exhale, forward fold. This one always feels extra good. Letting it go. Letting your head shake out. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, let that go. And then step yourselves back, downward dog, just for a moment. And then lower your knees down. First child's pose of the practice. Knees out to the width of your mat. Untuck your toes. Shift back to your hips and your heels. Extend arms. Forehead totally melted into the mat. And if you'd rather here, maybe your arms go behind you, palms facing up, and let the shoulders actually slouch to the ears. Just noticing the quality of your breath. Take a few more breaths here. And then bring your arms back out in front of you. Lift yourself up onto hands and knees. Take your knees under your hips, okay? Keep your toes tucked. And just for a nice heart melting pose, very similar to what we just did, except our knees will stay under the hips. So the arms extend, right? Forehead to the mat. It's just a bit more deeper into the arms and the shoulders to open them. And maybe you even actually come up onto your fingertips. So the soles of your hands are not on the floor anymore. You're just spidering your fingertips and your arms are lifted. And then lower your hands down if they're lifted. Slide your hands back towards you so you can press yourself up to hands and knees. And then find your seats, my friends. Very good. So we'll face the front of our mats in our seated position, getting ready in a moment to lie back down. Okay. So anything that you like for Shavasana, for that last restful pose, which is coming up, but not quite yet. Finding maybe a pillow in your home or blankets or anything that just gets really cozy for you as our body temperatures start to drop a bit. Okay. And then we'll all come back together. So the hands might come up on the knees. We tuck our chins to our chests and we slide our hands down our thighs as we slowly or quickly, it's up to you, come down to your back. Oh yeah. This is quite glorious and well-deserved, right? Take your arms now over your heads, stretch them out, stretch your toes away from your fingers. Find a huge body stretch here. Big, 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 big body stretch. And then let that go. Hug your knees to your chests and squeeze them in, rocking side to side. And then come back through center and stillness. Drop your feet to the floor so your knees are pointed up to the sky. Your knees are over your ankles, right? Palms are down onto either sides of your body, palms facing on the floor. Shoulders are broad, right? As we come for our spinal lift, we're going to lift our tailbone up in a sec. But the whole time, I want you to leave your head exactly where it is, right? Long neck, chin might be tucked slightly, but keep your head still. Now on the inhale, start to rise your sit bones up. Keep inhaling as you completely rise as far up as you can go, and then exhale to pause in your height of spinal lift. Setubandhasana. Keeping knees in line with each other. And then lower down on your next breath out, reversing that movement. We'll do that 2 more times. So once again, rising up, vertebra by vertebra, breathing in. Exhaling at the top and finding a couple of breaths here. Full rein for your belly to breathe big and full like Buddha. And then lower down vertebra by vertebra. Okay, final one. Make this one count. So coming up full expression all the way to the top. Pausing, but keep the breath flowing. All right, squeezing in. And if it's in your practice, maybe even bring your shoulders underneath one another more and clasp your fingers under your back if you'd like. If your fingers are clasped, take them and separate them, palms facing down, slowly lower down. Yeah, nice. Knees into your heart, squeeze them in again. A loving embrace, rocking side to side. And then coming back through center, take the right knee in and extend the left leg on the mat. Relax the left leg. So the left leg is totally, completely situated on the mat. Okay. Right knee comes in with the left hand. So you can take your right arm out like a wing from your shoulder, palm facing down, or cactus your arm, right? So shoulder is down on the earth. And then take your hips. I always say this, but it helps me. Shift your hips to the right so that now your right leg can come across the body to the left, maybe a little bit easier. A really nice twist here. Right toes are on the earth, or if the toes don't quite reach the earth, maybe the right toes are just resting on that left leg. And if you'd like to, take your gaze to look to the right. Take your head back through center, nice and easy, right? Actually bring your left hand on the ground now too to support yourself as you bring your right leg through center. Realign your hips, squeeze both knees in again, and then extend the right leg out, nice and long, relaxing that leg, taking the left knee in with the right hand, extend the left arm out like a wing, palm down, or cactus the arm. Shift the hips to the left perhaps, and the left knee goes to the right across the body. Left toes on the ground or on your leg. Last piece of the puzzle. Maybe look over to the left. Take your head gently back through center. Right hands on the floor for support as you bring your legs back through center, and then realign your hips. Squeeze your knees in one more time to your body. Maybe rocking side to side. And then just before Shavasana, instead of a full happy baby, we're just going to take a half happy baby. So one on each side. So once again, extend your left leg long, keep the right knee in, okay? But this time take your right hand to the inside of the right leg and either grab hold of your right ankle, maybe you can get hold of your foot, right? Or your toes, your big toe. And however you're holding your leg, I want you to open the right leg to the side, keep the knee bent. We're just opening up that right hip, right? So knee stays bent, right foot is flexed up to the sky. And we're pausing here. Sometimes I just like to rest my left hand on my left hip just to guide it down. So I know that the left leg is hopefully as relaxed as it can be. Bring your right knee through center, squeeze it in once more, just that right leg. Extend the right leg. One more side to do, left knee squeezes in. And then take the left hand to the inside of the leg and then grasping whichever part of that leg you can, and then opening up that left leg to the side, right? Again, knee is bent, foot is flexed to the sky. And noticing the very real possibility that one side could be much different than the other. take your left leg back through center. Squeeze that knee in. Exhale, release the leg. And it is that time for your sweet, sweet Shavasana. So all that hard work we've done definitely pays off in many ways. And this is just one of them. We get to find our Shavasana, our resting pose. So finding anything by your mat that you may have brought for yourself, like a pillow or a blanket. Maybe turn the lights down a bit lower. Close the eyes if you haven't already. And we completely let go of any manipulation of the breath. So the breath is just flowing on its own. With so much uncertainty in this world, what we can be certain of is right now, the earth literally has our backs. We can rely on gravity. We can rely right now and be certain that we are safe right now. I'm hoping in your space. Allow yourself to be cradled by the ground. So bring awareness to the points of contact that your body is making with the ground. And with every exhale, see if you can let go and surrender just a little bit more to that certainty of being held by the ground. Breath by breath by breath. begin to bring awareness back to your space. Maybe start to lengthen your inhales and exhales, breathing a bit deeper, just to wake up. Wiggling fingers and toes. Rocking your head side to side. And then rotating ankles and wrists around, maybe in both directions. And then picking up your knees to your chest, hugging them in, rocking side to side. Eventually rolling over to one side or the other in a fetal position. So just taking a moment here. Eventually pressing yourself up to a seat, keeping the eyes closed if you can. So just choosing your seat of choice where we began our practice together. And then floating the palms to your heart center in prayer position. And then taking that prayer all the way up to your foreheads so that your thumbs maybe just graze your foreheads. I always think we need this in these times especially. So thumbs to foreheads for compassionate and kind thoughts. Taking our prayer down to our lips for kind and compassionate speech. Finally, our prayer down to our hearts for kind and compassionate actions. Thank you so much for joining me and for making the time for you. Namaste.